Hello, welcome. It's been a minute since I've been in here, so it feels good to be live again. Um, I've missed being in this group. I've missed putting together learnings and discussions, so definitely feels good to be back. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany Calhoun. I'm a breathwork facilitator, advanced Akashic Records channel, and mentor for women who are creating a soul-led business and they're wanting to do it from alignment and soul purpose instead of from pressure and hustle. So that's what we do here. We go deep on all the systems that are running behind the scenes and help you scoop them out and build your business how your soul wants to build it, not how Jackie on TikTok says that you should build your business, right? So if you've been journeying with me the past, gosh, I mean, it's been forever because I took almost 2 weeks off there, but 7 weeks, we went really, really deep on everything from overthinking, self trust, visibility fears, magnetic messaging, soul blueprints, what's your soul archetype, money rewiring. Like we've done it all. So, all of the foundational levels of how you are functioning in your business or how you want to function in your business, we've solved for all of them. So, before I went to Oaxaca, Mexico, which was the coolest experience, and I can tell you a little bit about it later. I told you when I get back, since we've done all that groundwork, we are turning up the frequency, and that is what we're doing today. So, just a little bit about Oaxaca. If you have never spent time in Mexico between October 25th and November 5th, you're missing out. And not just in Oaxaca, but Oaxaca, it's in central Mexico. It's like the OG for Dia de Muertos celebrations. And like I found out while I was there that Mexico City didn't even have Dia de Muertos parades until it was featured in a James Bond movie in like 2015. And then tourism kept coming into Mexico City, like wondering where these really amazing costumes and parades were. And the government was finally like, oh my gosh, well, we should put this together. So, Dia de los Muertos, if, Dia de Muertos is the proper way to say it, but um, has been celebrated in Oaxaca for much, much longer. It's part of Mexican culture that you create little ofrendas. Actually, they're not even little, they're like massive. Sometimes they're the size of like an entire room. And an ofrenda is where you put all your loved ones' photos, and it has to have four elements: earth, fire, water, and air. And so, like for the air, they want you to like have a copal, and for the fire, they want you to have a candle. For the earth, they want you to have something from like agriculture, like for us, for the ofrenda that we created, my husband and I, for our loved ones passed, we put bread and some fruit, like typical fruits from the area. And then they want you to have water, so like a water element. And this is because on the 31st, the spirits start to come back at midnight if you have an ofrenda set up for them, and if you've like, led led through these rituals and covered absolutely everything in marigolds because they use the marigold smell to come back. But you need the water element because they need hydration. We had a group that stayed at the same hotel and did all these tours together, and we created like the most beautiful ofrenda for everyone's family that had passed. So really, really lovely. And then so there's like a different day for everything, and it starts with like October 27th, like pets. That's the day that the pets come back, and then they're there for this window of time. And the Mexican people were so gracious in sharing their culture and their celebration with us, and it like forever changed me. Like I've never been to a place. I mean, I guess you could say a similar vibe would be like Mardi Gras in New Orleans, but like that's like just everybody's there to party and drink before they can't before Lent, right? And this is more of like we're partying and we're letting off fireworks and we're playing drums really loud, and all these social clubs move into the streets for the parades and they all have beautiful costumes. But then, like, just regular people are there as well, dancing, and like everyone's on the same page in that, like, nobody's complaining that people are out until like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning letting off fireworks because everyone's doing it, right? So yeah, it was definitely like one of the most unique travel experiences I've ever had. And if you have an opportunity to ever go to um, Dia de Muertos, I highly recommend going to Oaxaca. And also it's like a major food city. Oaxaca has like several really high-end restaurants, and Top Chef Mexico has a restaurant there. And it's really accommodating. So I say, like, if you want to go for a really, really high-end dinner, like, you're not spending what you would spend in like the tourist zone. You're not even spending that. You're like getting a really, really high-end dinner from like a renowned chef for, I don't know, a fraction of what you would spend if you were to go to a tourist zone, Cabo or Cancun. So anyway, definitely one of the most powerful experiences I've ever had. And yeah, something definitely shifted in me, and being surrounded by all the color in the celebration and this like reverence for life. It reminded me that our energy is so sacred and it really is a currency. And if you follow pop culture, if you don't, like, she still had a very good point, but Taylor Swift was asked one time about like how does she do it all, and she's like, my energy is sacred and it's most expensive, so not everyone can get access to it. Like, only the people that have access to my energy can access me at any point. Otherwise, I close it all off and I don't pay attention to it. Like, she blocks out the world. So when we live in that state and we fully honor life, when we fully celebrate and we fully rest and we fully receive, our frequency definitely rises naturally. And when that happens, everything that we're wanting starts to come in faster. Everything that we've been calling in comes in faster. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. Today is more about living what you're learning. So less about the strategy, less about the healing. We've already like dug through all of that. It's about embodiment. It's about living what you're learning, because frequency work is simple. Who you are when no one is watching, what you believe when doubt creeps in, and how you hold yourself in that in-between space of, you know, being between opportunities or between manifestations. Are you crumbling? are you freaking out that, you know, things aren't happening fast enough? So turning up the frequency doesn't mean doing more, right? It means becoming the woman you are, that already has everything that you desire, and letting your higher self lead you and letting your energy lead you, right? So let's start that by anchoring in together. We can do this through breath. If you want, you can place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly or your womb space, closing your eyes. We're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. This puts us right into a parasympathetic state, which basically moves us from that mental realm into our bodies, and we can identify with what we're learning instead of ruminating with, you know, the lessons that we're going over. So taking a deep breath, breathing in for 4, holding for 7, exhaling for 8. In for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. In for 4, Hold for 7. Exhale for 8. And we'll do one more inhaling light energy for 4. Inhaling possibility. Holding onto that energy, that next level self for 7. And exhaling anything heavy, anything old that you're ready to release. And keeping with that breath, breathing in for 4, imagining yourself surrounded by this beautiful golden light. This is your frequency field, your energetic signature, holding for 7. And as you breathe, it's a brightening, expanding. And you're exhaling for 8. And just in your mind's eye or under your breath right now, whispering, I am remembering who I am. My energy is my strategy, and my alignment is my magnetism. And feeling your body begin to settle into this baseline. Beautiful. Okay. So there are 3 core ways that we embody our next level frequency, and none of them require working harder. So we want to be energetically consistent. It's not all about all these high vibe times, but it's about learning how to regulate when things start to wobble. So I said, how are we when we're in between, right? Your nervous system holds on to your energetic ceiling. And so the work that you do to keep building safety, breath by breath, is really so that you can hold more energy, hold more stress, have a better stress response. So you can be better in between those gaps of time, so that you don't fall apart if your manifestation isn't coming fast enough, so that you don't fall apart if the clients aren't coming fast enough. It helps you maintain that level of peace and dignity in understanding that what you desire is coming. So we do this, not by only seeking out those highs, those dopamine hits. We also do that by seeking out stillness. And so if we can exist with ourselves in stillness, that helps us to regulate. So you'll notice with little kids, they cannot be quiet. They can't sit in stillness. It's very awkward for them. Their nervous system hasn't started to regulate yet. But if you think about the most stoic older man, he's so comfortable sitting in silence with himself, he's good, right? More in the older man realm, how we carry ourselves when we're alone. Can we even sit with our own thoughts? Can we clear our own thoughts if they're annoying us? All of these things that help us remain consistent energetically. The second way is through aligned action, and we've been doing this the whole 7 weeks that we've been together. Your frequency multiplies when you act on inspiration. And so that little ping that you have, that little nudge of, should I share this or should I reach out? That's your higher self handing you little breadcrumbs from your future self. So follow it. That's where momentum lives. And also put yourself into spaces that allow for this. We have our power hours where we're taking aligned action and moving forward. We've been doing breath work together, and we're doing this so that we move out of the mind and into the body. We're doing this so that we also start to pull in all of these synchronicities that are happening around us. We become more attuned to the subtleties of our higher self, our intuition, our gifts, right? So when we take aligned action and we move forward after we've collected enough evidence, then we're able to really build our, embodiment, increase our embodiment, right? And then we also want to work on receiving from an embodied state. So if you're here, you've probably been doing the inner work for a while. We've spent the past 7 weeks doing more inner work. And now it's about letting life meet you. And receiving compliments, rest, love, and payments with that same openness. So the universe doesn't withhold abundance from you. We block it when we don't feel safe to receive it. So when you start to embody the frequency while you're in safe space, or you've created safety in your energy field, when you embody the energy and the frequency of safety and joy and service, your field becomes more magnetic, right? You stop chasing, you start attracting. If I were to shut those compliments down, like, they would stop coming to me. And the way the universe works, it can be very strange, and you don't want to push away too much. You want to be open to receiving things, because love is the same energy as money, is the same energy as alignment. It's all the same. Everything is energy. Okay, so maybe grab a notebook for this next part. I just have some journal prompts, and I will follow these up with a post, or I'll put these in here. I can do that too. So when you grab your notebook, start to think about, who am I becoming in this next season of my business? And what energy am I ready to release that does not belong to that version of me? And what daily rituals do I need to make, that will help keep me anchored into that highest frequency? And what am I still forcing instead of trusting? So what am I forcing or controlling instead of trusting? And those aren't, like, I'm not saying those to confuse you or like to send you down a rabbit hole of more journaling. They aren't mental exercises. They're really like a calibration, right? And each reflection rewires you to match that energy of the version of you that already has that is already existing in that. So when I do Akashic records, when I do quantum healings, we heal across all timelines, past, present, future, parallel. Every time that you have said yes in life, there is a parallel version of you existing that said no. And you have a multidimensional soul with fractals existing all over the universe, living out every single thought, decision that you've ever had or done. And so sometimes you'll get deja vu. So this is really trippy. Like, if you said no to an opportunity, if you have said no to an opportunity, and then months or years down the road, a very vaguely similar opportunity comes along, because it's like, hello, your higher self is like, well, you said no to X, Y, and Z, but will she say yes to Y, Z, and double A, right? Like, well, these like slightly different, but like mostly the same. And you'll get a glimpse of like deja vu, and that's your higher self's way of saying, of like leaking the timeline to you, of like, you're doing this already. Just say yes this time. Okay. So go through those calibrations, those reflections, and really sit with them and like really think about what you're wanting this next season of your business to be. Because, oh my God, we are literally like 45 days from 2025, and I will be opening up a new cohort of, not really a cohort because it's one-on-one mentorship, but I'll be opening up 3 more spaces for Unleashed in January. And yeah, I mean, getting clear on what you want to create and how you want to create from. When you start working with me in January, those 3 months will just be so grounded and so solid, bringing your soul-led business right to you through through all of the modalities that I use. And then really like anchoring in and getting it off the ground, which is so excited. And I'm so excited for you. Okay, so like I said, this week was all about frequency shifting and learning how to move from learning to embodiment. And we talked about those 3 areas of, remaining consistent with your energy, aligned action, and also receiving from an embodied state. So if you want to ground into that action, join us tonight for Power Hour, or we have one on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, and we have one on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And they're not just co-working sessions, they're definitely frequency activations through focus and getting the ball moving. And if you're ready to build your entire business around this level of energetic alignment, that is what we do in Unleashed. Like I just mentioned, 12 weeks deep calibration, embodiment, expansion, so that you can create and receive from overflow and not hustle, not overwork. So you can book a discovery call with me. We'll map out your next evolution and make sure that it's a good fit, both energetically and strategically. So let's take one last deep breath. Exhaling, remembering that your frequency is already rising. You're not chasing it, you're becoming it. So I will see you all at Power Hour tonight, and I will drop you those reflective questions in the group. So bye, it was good seeing you again.